Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm posting this video today because of a comment that was on our channel, and I think this person really brings up a great question. So, okay. So basically the question was, if he is with his significant other, is it better to have her finish and not yourself? When we're talking about Kareeza is the art of making love without like an ejaculation or a finishing. So it's really, this is such a cool thought. I'm so excited that somebody had commented and asked about that, because my husband is like that. He wants to satisfy, right? And because he just, first of all, I think that it's not only because like they love you, right? And it's not just that, it's they want you to be happy, right? Just like us women, we want to make our men happy. And I just think that there's more to this, right? So Kareeza, let's unbox it. Okay, so Kareeza, the art of making love without finishing. And it's slow and purposeful and connected, right? Okay, so I'm going to draw some sort of a conclusion or an analogy here. So, okay, let's say, for example, you set a goal and in your career. Let's take a sports figure, for example. So you have some football player finally reaches the top of his game and blah, 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 right? He's finally got there, and then he doesn't know what to do afterwards. He's reached the ultimate goal. He hasn't planned further than that. He's been trying to reach it. He hasn't thought about what's going to happen beyond that. That's it. He's been trying to chase that dopamine, right, basically. And finally, he's reached the peak of his career, and then boom, crash. Like, there's no other thing going on for him, and he doesn't know what to do. And it's so hard to come back from that, because the focus was on that goal. The goal. And so when we talk about making love, like, do you ever think about that? Like that, you are making it together. That doesn't mean you are, you can just continue to make it. It doesn't have to be all up to a certain peak and then end it. I think that, and really, like, as I'm just kind of talking this out, like, making love is actually so much more than just the sex part. It's like you are building something together, like, all the time. And that connection. And when you love somebody, there's that magnetism, that love. And I feel as though that love can obviously be different types of love. Like, you still have a magnetism with your children, like this pull and this, gratefulness and this givingness and this love. It's an exchange of love for one another. So anyway, so back to the Kareeza. So Kareeza is not about the end result, right? It's not about that end goal, because if you think about it, for both women and men, and I'm going to pull this back around to the question. So let's say, for example, my husband's the same way as this man. He wanted to satisfy me. He wants me to finish and not him. And what does that do to a girl? So, hey, it's pretty awesome, right? But what happens after that? Like, does that make me more attracted to him? Yes and no. Without finishing, I am still feeling that pull. I'm still feeling a pull for my husband, an intense connection. It's like continuing beyond that experience where I want more of him because I never had the ending. So to answer that question, I don't agree. In my situation, I don't think it's the best thing for the woman to finish, even though it's phenomenal. And, in my situation, and this is very personal, but I'm one of those people that can finish multiple times, like at least like 7 before I'm kind of like, okay, I'm like, I think we need to like not do it anymore. So, but no, I wouldn't talk like that. But in reality, like, that's the thing. Like, you would think as a man, you are trying to get your woman to feel the best possible way. And you can still do this without completing it. The pull and the push and the pull of the experience, meaning, bringing that person, and this is for women too, like to do to their men, getting really up in there and slow, connected, touching and eye contact and pulling away and changing it up and, trying new things to kind of pull away from the intensity of the situation so you don't finish. So, for example, and, I talk about Kareeza because that is the majority of the time, that is what we try to do. And just the other day, it's funny because we could not do that. Okay, so for example, and this, I'm still like in love with everything that had happened. So 2 days ago, we were doing Kareeza, and it was like, this went on for almost 3 hours. And so it was like 2 a.m. and we couldn't stop being with each other, that we literally had to finish because we kept talking to each other like, okay, we need to go to bed now. And we just could not stop. So in regards to, there are times when you do need to stop because obviously you have life outside of the bedroom, other things that you have to do with your life. But the connection was so intense and for hours that it just, my husband was like, okay, we have to finish because we're not going to stop doing this. And no, this wasn't a ploy, for us to finish. And I felt bad. I'm like, we really shouldn't, because this is so great, but we really do need to go to bed and we can't stop. So yeah, so here's the thing. So to answer the question, which was by giving my wife an orgasm or my significant other orgasm, which, obviously, like, I like to promote, the waiting before marriage to, because I come from that experience. I come from, waiting to have sex before marriage. And so I don't know the other aspects of it, just to be completely honest with you, like how that affects sex life and, sex with other people. So to me, I always like to say, wait to do this before marriage until you get married. Wait until you get married. So with regards to, is it make the person want you more if they climax a lot? I don't agree with that. I don't. My intensity was still kind of there, but I was exhausted. So to me, I was like, but I was rearing to go the next night. So because I just have been feeling sexy, and also too, if you've watched some of my other videos, it's about taking care of yourself and, eating right, because you can feel really good and want it more. And you're also more attracted to the other person when you feel good and when you want them more. I mean, it's just like a great win-win situation. It's hard at first, but then you get in a good habit of eating better and taking care of yourself. So to answer the question, I don't think you need to make the person orgasm a bunch and you not finish yourself. This is with regards to women also as men, because like girls always want to please, right? We always want to please our men. And if you're coming at this from a perspective of like long-term deep intimacy, and you found this video and you're going to try Kareeza and your partner's on board, congrats, because it is like life altering. Amazing. And had my husband not found this information, we would have been still doing stuff the same way. And it is really life altering. It's life changing. Like, I want to have sex with him all the time. I don't think a lot of women want to. I mean, from like the jokes on TV that I've seen, but I'm like so all about it. And I just see him differently. And I don't need to finish. In fact, I didn't want to, but we were so attracted to each other and couldn't stop that we had to. So that, I hope that kind of displays and it gives you a good analogy. Like, so the analogy, the sports analogy was basically saying like, you're chasing a dopamine high. Okay, essentially, like dopamine, to kind of explain it, is the currency of life. It truly is, because you need to build it back up again. Okay, and when you spend it, it's spent. You have to rebuild it back up again, and that's through a lot of different things. And maybe I could do a video on that too. But like, so with your brain, you know, you are serving someone and you are doing that pull and push, you know, and kind of like changing it up and creating this experience between you two, this deep connection, deep intimacy. And it's a process. And there's like these little drips all throughout of dopamine the entire time, not this huge like work up to like, and then this release that ends it all, right? Because there's a refractory period where you have to, you know, rest and build up the stamina again, to want to do it again, to want to give again, to, you know, and it expels energy essentially. I mean, like your cells are just like, you know what I mean? So the dopamine aspect, so the sports player, he goes and reaches for his pinnacle moment, right? And he finally reaches it, and then he's like, oh my gosh, my life fell apart. I don't know what to do anymore. Like, what am I striving for anymore? But if you put your heart and soul into the process of something, like the hard work is the dopamine reward, if you can turn your life into something like that, beautiful. You will be happy. Like, you will get that dopamine all the time, and it'll be like a consistent drip. Whereas if you're just working so hard for that goal and then it happens and then you're just like, you know. So it's kind of something to keep in mind from a biological perspective, from a brain perspective, that's kind of what it's about. So giving the girl orgasm, that's like not necessary. Apparently I'm pretty busy. Okay, well, have a great time, and I hope this video helped. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I hope to post more. I love talking to you guys. Thanks.